All right, Litecoin. So, Litecoin, legacy token. It's fast. It works. I like it. All right. Nothing really going about Litecoin now. I haven't had I haven't heard any new news about Litecoin. I don't know what's out there as far as fundamentals, any new developments, if any. So, if you hold Litecoin and you are up to date on the news, feel free to comment any new developments, if any. But we're just going to keep it strictly technicals since I don't have any fundamental information on it. All right. We're going to start on the 6-month chart because the yearly chart doesn't really show much. All right. Starting out, I am using the Bitstamp right here, the Bitstamp chart for Litecoin dollar spot. And that's just because I'm trying to get as much history as I can just to see if there's anything back here that can influence future price. All right. So first thing I see is this low right here, very important low, and this high right here. Very important high. The reason for that is because if you look at price action before this swing low, we were in a bit of a large range. So let me draw that out. It looks like this. Price is going higher and it's going lower. And then we kind of form like a little bit of a pennant here. We go a little higher here, but we're underneath the previous high. And then look what happened on this doji candle, right? A lot of indecision here at the close of this candle. But look at how this candle sweeps the previous lows, and then we go on to sweep the previous two swing highs right here. So essentially we're wiping the table clean. Anybody who was trying to buy down here and their stops were below the low, they're out. Anybody who was trying to sell up here, stops above the high, they are out. So we have a range and a new clean slate. All right, going forward, after hitting this range high and closing bullish down here, we have formed a buy side imbalance right here. And this is on the 6-month chart. This right here is really important. I'm going to show you some things psychologically as to why this is a very important level. Okay, think of it like this. If you've watched any of my previous videos, I always talk about how fair value gaps work. A bullish fair value gap is supposed to support price. So price comes into it, and somewhere in that gap, you can overshoot it. That's fine. You'll see why we overshot it in just a minute. But somewhere in that gap, price needs to support it, and then you will see price exit above the high that sent you into the gap. So the high that sent us into the gap is here at all-time high. On this chart, it is $413.60. All right. Take a look at this though. After we formed that gap, price did indeed go inside, but look at what we formed on the other side. We now have a bearish argument for lower prices. This is a bearish gap. So a quick lesson, how do you know the difference between a bullish gap and a bearish gap? It's what's inside the space. Okay, so in this space, my bullish candles are tan and my bearish candles are brown, right? So if you look at this, this is a bullish gap, which means this is a bullish argument for higher prices. This space here, even though this third candle is bullish, it's all about what's in the space. So the dark brown candle is bearish. This is a bearish argument for lower prices. All right. Who wins, right? You don't know yet, but take a look at the series of events. First, we had a bullish argument. Then we get a bearish argument next. If you're reading this from left to right, we went bullish, a bullish possibility. Then we got a bearish possibility. But because this is the last thing we got, I am leaning towards lower prices at the time of this chart, not current. This is, I'm in replay right now. So I'm not bearish on Litecoin. That's the first thing I want to say. We're going over what has happened because this is important when you realize why Litecoin is bullish. We had a bearish argument where it looks like we could go lower. In order for Litecoin to go lower from here, you'd want to see price pull up into this bearish gap, into this bearish argument, and you'd want to see it exit at whatever the low was that sent you up there, which is this low here. Okay, if price was to go below this low, you'd essentially have a new leg lower, and that is likely how that downtrend continues to form. But this is what happens. If I hit the play button, the very next candle opens up, right? We're still in the 6-month chart. Look what happens. We reach in there and watch the reaction. We're inside the gap, and look, we start to respect it by moving back out. We go back in. This is all during 6 months. You see price gyrating on this candle. We respect it again, jump back into the imbalance. Look at this. This is respect of a bearish argument. So at the time of this candle being open, this is leaning bearish. not confirmed, but leaning. Remember, confirmed is when we actually start making our way down past this previous swing low. But if I hit play again, look what happens. We close above the gap. Now, does this mean that it's invalidated? No. It's okay if the body of a candle overshoots a bearish argument. It can still melt lower. So I'm still watching on a much higher time frame on what price wants to do. Let's see what this candle does. First thing I notice, this new candle that opens has already taken out the high of the previous 6-month candle. That's not good, okay? Because we're basically sweeping the high, getting buyers on the wrong side, right? Remember, breakout traders are looking to buy the breakout. If you're in long positions here, you are now in the negative because this was a fake out. Break up above the high. Now we're dragging that liquidity lower. Let's see what happens. Boom. You take out the low. So we're basically wiping the board clean. But this looks like a bearish engulfing, right? So let's see what happens. Price is still gyrating, takes out this low, starts to move above. Let's see what happens. So this candle closes here. Very next candle opens. Looks like an inside bar as of right now, but I want to see, is it going to take out the low of the previous range? Now this is important because what are we doing here? Like what's the point of this? We're trying to see if this bearish argument for lower prices stands to hold price down. If it doesn't, that's how you know the bullish argument here in gray is the one that's still in control. So let's see if we get any follow through past this low. So we have like a bit of a doji here. Let's see how this closes. Okay, so you see this candle right here. It closes as an inside bar. Inside bars on high time frames are rare. They're rare when they happen, which means the very next candle is likely going to break out to the low or high or both. All right. As you can see, look at what this last candle, right? The one I'm looking at in terms of last. Look at how it opens here and drops down, and it takes out both this low and the previous candle's low. See that? So it's doing what happened on the buy side over here. Now we're taking out sellers, okay? Sellers who are breakout trading to the downside, they are now in the market short and they're in drawdown because they're selling on the breakout. If they're selling on the breakout, their entries are near the low of both of these candles, both of these previous candles. They're in drawdown. The market delivers that liquidity higher. So remember, to validate this bearish argument, we need price to come down here. Watch how price never returns to these two levels. These two levels never return because think about it. If I am selling the breakout, the only way I can get out at break even or in profit is if price comes back down here. If price does not come back down here, that means that is confirmation that the market doesn't want you to get out at break even. It wants to keep your money. Watch the reaction. Look at the gyration. Goes down even deeper. A deeper cut. That deeper cut is going to confirm to breakout traders you're in the right side of the market. Everything's good. What? Look at this. Watch how price stays above it now. And now it goes above its opening price onto where we are right now. This price action, all of the drama that happened down here, getting sellers on the wrong side, and then pulling price above the opening, pushing it above previous candles highs, are telling me that this bearish argument is now invalidated. Why is it invalidated? It's because we had a chance to follow through on this down close candle. We had a chance to follow through right here, where price could have just reached down here, built resistance, and then kept going lower. That did not happen. Instead, we invalidated a sell side setup, and now it looks to me like price wants to complete this setup, internal to external. Okay, after taking out this swing high right in here, after doing all the damage down here, this is letting me know price wants to go after all-time high. So where's all-time high? We got it up here at $413. As of this chart, it's $413.60. Okay, we need to go down some time frames and see what do we need to watch out for that's going to help us get up there. So I'm going to drop down to the 3-month chart. This is not something we need to look at. Okay, this is what I want to see. First things first, I would like to see price close on a 3-month perspective. I want to see price close above 108, the bodies of these candles. I want to see it close above this. If it can close above this, that means we have a confirmed bullish order block that we can pull back to and then get that new leg higher. Okay, this is really important. All right, the close, the current candle close is really important. Same thing goes for the monthly. If I drop down to the monthly time frame, look at this. Look at how the previous month's candle did not close above these candle bodies. Look, if I draw it out, you see how the candle body fails to close above 105? This is not good. The next candle is the one you have to wait for it to close. Because if we close up here, that's definitely well above 105 and 108. See that? So that's why you have to wait for December to close. And it needs to close strong above 108. That's going to give me confidence that we can have that resistance turn support. We'll have that to come back down to for a new leg higher if it chooses to. Okay? Because otherwise price could just shred to the upside. That can happen. Ideally, you'd want to see price just moon rocket up. But the pullback would be healthy if we close above 108. Okay, so keep that in mind. All right. Now, in the near term, I'm on the monthly chart, and this is what we recently just entered. Well, not yet. Okay, we're right there. But right now, price wants to get inside of this monthly sell side imbalance. The reason being is because it has not been touched yet. All right, so if I look at this, there is no candle that has went into this gap yet. It's fresh. This is a bearish argument. So when price gets up in here, and what I'd recommend is to make a free Litecoin account and put a target, put a alert at 153.73. All right, I'm on logarithmic, so let me just exit logarithmic real quick, and I'll make that an alert right at the bottom of that gap. As we get in here, you're going to see some turbulence happen. You're going to see some selling off happen. Don't panic. All right, the idea is you want to see price slowly but surely make its way through this area, because this is really the last level of resistance you have before new all-time high. This is going to be the big one, the big test. All right, if everything goes according to plan, this gap right here will be used to give you the pullback for a good buy. It'll be used for the pullback to give you a good entry for that next leg up. Because if I go down to the weekly, there's nothing left. If you look here, there's a small weekly gap in here. It's very small, but because it's part of the monthly, it's not important. It's not relevant to me. This little area right here, it's inside of the monthly, so I don't really pay it any attention. I need price to get through this whole thing anyway. But once you're through this thing, everything looks good for a new all-time high. You'll see some selling off up here simply because it's not an all-time high, it's a swing high. Liquidity sits above swing highs. It's gonna be normal when price gets up here. You'll see a cool off, but I believe the big target is all-time high. Be patient, put these levels on your chart, allow price to move, okay? Right now, everything looks bullish for Litecoin. And I strictly say that based off of what has happened really on the 6-month chart. We had a clear chance to go down right in here. Let me just go back to logarithmic. You can see it right here. This was a for sure chance and reason for us to go lower. Not only did we invalidate this low, but we also took the liquidity here and never let these traders lose. These breakout traders are crying right now. Everything looks bullish. That's my analysis for Litecoin. I hope this made some sense. I hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you in the next one.